everyone. Welcome back to another Tech Talk session with me, your host from Tech Jobs Fair. I'm super excited to be with you all today because we are about to dive into a very exciting discussion on a very interesting topic today. And we are joined by a very special guest, Miss Carolina Petroche. Hi, Carolina. How are you doing today?
Hey there, Tripti. I'm pumped to be here and share some game changing insights with this incredible audience today.
Awesome. So, before we begin, Carolina is a psychologist and leadership coach with over 10 years of experience in business and HR. She has worked as a people and culture lead in tech startups across major cities, working closely with tech founders, executives, and HR. So, thank you so much for joining us, Carolina. We're super excited to have you join us and very interested to listen to you, your knowledge, your insights. But before we dive into the topic, because I have a lot of questions that I want to ask you, but let's take a moment for you to uncover your inspiring journey and share with us that you've had in the industry so far.
Cool, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Carolina. I'm delighted to be here today. I'm a psychologist and leadership coach with experience working in business and HR, particularly with tech startups. I had the privilege of partnering with tech founders, executives, and HR leaders, helping them navigate the complexities of rapid growth, technological transformations, and most importantly, leading with emotional intelligence in an AI driven world. I strongly believe that while technology drives innovation, it's our human skill like empathy, adaptability that truly differentiate exceptional leaders. Beyond my professional work, I'm also proud to be a mentor at the Mentoring Club, where I support individuals in achieving their goals and unlocking their potential. It's an incredible platform that reflects my deep passion for empowering others through guidance and sharing experience. In our ever-changing tech landscape, I am the bridge to gap between business growth and people development, ensuring we lead not just with the strategy but also with heart. I'm thrilled to share insights with you today and look forward to an engaging conversation.
Thank you so much, Carolina. That was amazing that you shared, what you've been doing so far and what you do. And to all of our viewers, guys, if you have any questions, if you have anything that you want to ask or, talk about, please feel free to drop down your questions in the comment section. And yes, I'm super sure Carolina will be, happy to answer them.
Of
Right?
course.
Awesome. So, I mean, this is a very interesting topic about emotional intelligence, especially in this particular world that we're living in today. That's becoming more AI dominating, and it's AI driven. So, you've worked extensively in leadership, development, HR field across multiple tech startups, right? So, how have
Correct.
you seen emotional intelligence impact leadership in tech, and especially in an AI driven world?
That's a very good question, Tripti. I have watched brilliant technical leaders fail not because they couldn't code, but because they couldn't empathize with their teams. Therefore, founders and leaders who combine technical expertise with emotional intelligence and accountability ensure that people and technology drive together. And answering your question, Tripti, I have seen that emotional intelligence impacts leadership by mainly three factors. One of them is creating value across stakeholders. A second one is building resilient cultures, and a third one is addressing fear and resistance. So let me quickly explain them. The first one, creating value across stakeholders. Emotional intelligence isn't about being nice, it's rather about fostering collaboration, driving accountability for others, and ensuring that AI advancements serve both human and organizational purpose. The second one, which is building resilient cultures in tech, where burnout and imposter syndromes are still very common. Emotional intelligence driven leadership creates environment where our people can feel valued and motivated. Studies in organizational psychology underscore how emotionally intelligent leaders improve team performance and also satisfaction. And according to research from Personio, for example, emotionally intelligent leaders can achieve up to 25% better outcomes during tech transformation periods with higher people engagement. And the last
Mhm.
point that I just mentioned, addressing fear and resistance, as seen in Harvard Business Report studies, empathy fosters psychological safety, enabling teams to adapt and innovate more effectively. The good news here about emotional intelligence is that it's also a learnable skills. So how can we improve it? Leaders can develop these skills through coaching, through feedback, and self-reflection, ensuring that they not only lead but inspire their teams, right?
Yeah. Before I had another question, you actually answered it because I really wanted to understand, according to you, right? What do you consider emotional intelligence at? Like either it's a skill or it's a behavior that people owe. So you already mentioned that it's a skill that we can learn
Indeed.
via different factors, right? So
Correct.
thanks.
So
I don't have to ask that question anymore.
these
You already
these are the good
covered it in
news,
the
indeed.
answer. So, you probably have coached a lot of executives, leaders globally, right? So, what do you think are the biggest challenges leaders face while balancing AI integration with maintaining that human-centered approach or that emotional approach in their team or in the organization?
Yeah, that's a very good question, actually. So, in my experience working closely with tech founders and leaders, I have seen them facing several significant challenges, but also opportunities, right? When integrating AI while maintaining a human centered approach in their teams. And I will
Yeah,
mention a few aspects that come to my mind. The first one is building trust and transparency.
yeah,
AI rapid adoption often fuels fear among teams. Leadership should foster trust through transparency, clear communication of the role of AI as a tool to augment, not replace human effort. The second one is balancing efficiency with empathy in people strategies, right? So artificial intelligence drives efficiency, but leaders should ensure that humanity remains central to decision making. There are certain studies that emphasize that emotionally intelligent leadership is vital in tech teams. So leaders should focus more on empowering their people and
yeah,
prioritizing autonomy, collaboration, empathy, clear communication, and their people's well being. The next
yeah,
point, which is very, very important, is to to promote a more purpose-driven leadership, right? So
yeah.
artificial intelligence offer data-driven solutions, but it lacks the why. So here is where leaders should inspire their teams to see AI not just as a technology, but as a means to foster meaningful work innovation, right? Yeah, so these would be the key points that I would mention, right?
Absolutely. I agree to the point where you mentioned about being transparent and being having that clear communication with the team as a leader, right? And only using AI as a tool and not like, like another employee in an organization,
Correct.
right? Just using it as like a catalyst in order to boost the organizational, I think, growth, right? Rather than
Correct.
making the employees feel like they might be replaced by a technology. I mean, that's a fear that would be a nightmare, like for all of the people out there working, because it's growing
Absolutely.
rapidly and it's evolving rapidly. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I really
Yeah.
like the factors that you mentioned about how we can face those challenges or how we can maybe betterfy the organization, right?
Indeed.
like you have your own company of where you coach, so you're a founder of B Coaching, right? So you advocate for emotional intelligence as a critical skill for leaders in this age of AI. So will it be possible for you to share some examples on how emotional intelligence has transformed leaderships and dynamics in tech companies that you've worked with?
Indeed, indeed. Yeah. So before I share key examples and insights from my work, I would like to ask you all to keep in mind that emotional intelligent leaders in tech, they don't react to challenges. They proactively shape cultures of innovation, trust, and resilience. So
Mhm.
the first example I want to share is about um, a C-level executive I work with who struggled to hold his team accountable without negatively affecting their emotional well-being, right? So
Yeah.
he found it challenging to give critical feedback and enforce performance standards without causing frustration, let's say, right? So, with him, through coaching, feedback loops, and self reflection practices, we work on balancing empathy and transparency, allowing
Right.
him to address issues directly. The result, the team dynamics and motivations improve, and it, of course, had measurable business outcomes. Another example I will share about how a leader's high emotional intelligence transformed an overworked and frustrated team into a collaborative and engaging group of people. How did we achieve it actually? So, by openly address fears that the team had, also by
Right.
creating environments where people feel safe when expressing our ideas or even taking risk, and by building trust and psychological safety. And the last example I want to share is during a large scale digital transformation in a mid-sized tech company, an emotionally intelligent HR leader I support navigated resistance by prioritizing empathy and transparent communication. With her, through different techniques, we promote active listening. You should see how people thrive when they feel listened to. So,
Yeah.
how can people not feel highly motivated when working with such leaders, right? I would like to say that my work
Yeah,
is based
absolutely.
on psychological studies. And I think that these are examples on how emotional intelligence, with emotional intelligence, we can bridge the gap between rapid technological advancements and the human need for purpose and connection.
Right, right. And also, you mentioned about leaders being emphasized, like, being empathetic towards their team members, right? So, do you believe that if a leader has that balance between, in of course in the AI driven world, they have that balance of how to play with their emotional intelligence, that makes that team, not just the organization, like team as a core, um, a better team. Like if the leader lack emotional intelligence, it might create a lot of misunderstanding, miscommunication, because they might not be open to talking to their leaders, thinking like he or she won't understand, they don't,
Indeed.
they won't step into our shoes or see the problems from our perspective. So
That is
having that
correct.
particular emotional intelligence is very important as a leader, I feel, as well, so that you can
Mhm.
have that well maintained and like a well formed team,
Mhm.
and
Indeed.
because most of the times, when people leave an organization, it's mostly because of the managers, right? Because they don't feel
Correct.
understood. Yeah, they don't feel
Correct.
understood by managers, and it becomes like a very toxic environment.
Correct. Yeah. Unfortunately, studies shows that people leave their supervisors, not their jobs, right? So this is a
Yeah,
clear example on how
exactly.
important it is for managers to become, to be aware on, yeah, that they are a role model in companies,
Yeah,
right?
actually, yeah. because they're in that position, they can provide that guidance and help others grow as well.
Correct.
So another question of from me would be, you have your experience in people and culture, right?
Correct.
And also because you've studied psychology, so I think you're the best person who can answer this. So, what role do you think HR teams play in preparing tech organization for the revolution of AI? While still ensuring that employees' well-being and development are, there. It's there.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I see that HR teams playing a crucial role in not only preparing organizations for the AI revolution, but also ensuring that people remain engaged and motivated. And here the main question is how, right? How do we achieve it? How does HR teams can achieve it?
Yeah.
So the main topic of our conversation today is actually implementing leadership development with emotional intelligence, right? That is very important if we want to achieve this kind of cultures. Then also developing a growth mindset environment, right? As you very well mentioned before, when working in these environments, well, it's very important that we keep an eye on our people's well-being. So that's why promoting more psychologically safe environments where people feel comfortable sharing concerns and where creativity can flourish is the key, right? And last but not least, it is important that HR teams clearly communicate the role of artificial intelligence in the organization and how it will impact job roles, ensuring transparency and also reducing uncertainty among people, right, or employees.
Right. So it's like already maintaining that, bridge, already keeping them informed about the do's and don'ts, or what is going to be the organization in presence of the AI, or how we will be moving forward with the roles and responsibilities with AI being in place, right? So
Indeed,
keeping
indeed,
that
it's
transparent
balancing. Yeah,
communication.
sorry. To interrupt you. Yeah, exactly. Balancing automation with human connection, right? Which is the key here.
Yeah, no matter how much we are evolving with the technology, I think that human touch, a sense of humanity will always be needed, right? In an organization, it's like a baby needs its mother no matter what, right? So it's like
Correct.
that. We need that humanity in an organization.
Yeah, indeed, absolutely.
So, looking to the future now, I mean, like, this is like one of my final questions for you, right? How do you see the interplay between AI and leadership evolving? And is there any advice that you'd like to give to the tech founders or leaders who are, looking to lead with both innovation and empathy, and, trying to create that balance?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. Well, I see the interaction between leadership and AI evolving in several key ways, right? The first one, which is something that we are already seeing, is redefining roles and responsibilities.
Yeah,
As AI reshapes job functions, leaders must align teams with the future of work. A second point within this interaction is also that AI enable leaders to make more informed strategic decisions, freeing them to focus on human-centric tasks like building relationships and driving cultures, right? Um, and well, in this environment, what is important is, well, we see how important it is that continuous learning is essential, right? With the leaders fostering environments where people feel empowered to develop skills for the future. My advice for tech founders and leaders is, first of all, as we mentioned before, hey, be aware that you are a role model. So your
yeah,
behaviors and rituals set the tone of the company culture. So reflect on what actions reinforce trust, collaboration, and innovation within your team. And then my second advice would be practice empathy. So
Yeah.
understand the broader impact of your products and decisions, not just on your people, well, on talents, but also on the customers and the society, right? I would like to also offer practical tips. Yeah, so easy, develop emotional intelligence, of course, but then also measure success holistically. So go beyond financial metrics to include employee engagement, customer satisfaction, and social impact. My next suggestion or practical tip would be balance results with well-being. So hold teams accountable while recognizing individual challenges and supporting resilience. My last suggestion would be use AI to handle repetitive tasks. In this way, you can allow employees to focus on creativity, strategy, and purpose-driven work. That's all from my side, Tripti. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I really like that about using AI for the repetitive work, and then gives that open space for the humans to actually think out of the box, think more about the organizational growth as well as the personal growth. So that's
Mhm.
interesting to hear about. And just an add-on question out there. Do you think this empathy and emotional intelligence is just towards the tech companies or tech founders, or is it irrelevant for all of the founders out there who are building a organization, all the leaders out there?
That's
Like,
a very good
is AI
question.
also affecting other companies which are not very technically
Mhm.
like not towards the technology, basically, not the
Mhm,
tech
mhm.
company?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and my answer is yes, I do think so. Yeah, so this is a very important skill that humanity needs actually, and we are losing it, I think.
Yeah, everybody is being so
So it's good that we are
dependent.
aware of it and
Yeah,
we train it. Yeah, indeed, it's an important skill in humanity. Yeah, not just in the tech area.
awesome. I guess that was pretty interesting, very short and still informative, right? And we do have some time limitations, which is why we have to bring the session to an end. However, I'd like to thank you for your active participation, Carolina, and this has been a beautiful session. But before we wrap it up, is there anything that you'd like to add from your end to all of our viewers?
Mhm. Yeah, as we wrap up, remember technology should enhance human relationships, but not replace them. That
Yeah.
would be my last addition.
Thanks.
Thank
I
you
think
so
that's a
much.
quote we need to save on our wallpaper, right? Like a workstation wallpaper. Technology cannot replace.
Indeed, indeed,
Awesome, man. I'd
absolutely.
like to thank all of our viewers for joining us today. It was lovely having all of you. You can always check out the Tech Jobs Fair website if you have any, if you want to look, if you're looking for opportunities to network. So we have a lot of events upcoming for next year. So yes, feel free to log on to techjobsfair.com. Until next time, everyone, and thank you so much, Carolina. It was again a
Well,
pleasure having you join us today. Thank you so much.
it's my one. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Take care.